In 1 John chapter 3 come these words. See what kind of love the Father has given to us, that we should be called children of God. We have all heard it. In fact, we've all said it. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. We all know that that is not true, because names are powerful. A name can lift you up, or a name can tear you down. And I imagine many of us can remember a name that hurt in our lives. Often these negative names are the ones that stick most. Slow, clumsy, husky, fat, stupid. The list goes on and on. And yet perhaps you also remember a name that healed, a name that just absolutely lifted you up. I was a skinny junior high kid. You know, school didn't always come super easy for me, but I did okay. After a 7th grade basketball practice, it was Mrs. Lusty who offered myself and my sister a ride home after school. And on the way home, Mrs. Lusty said to me, and it is right here, seared into my brain, Marty, I was at the last game. You are talented. You're a talented ball player. And the word that resonates with me even to this day, talented. When my children were young, I fully understood the importance of positive reinforcement in this world that we live. And so from time to time, when the timing was right, I would take a few moments of individual alone time with Matt and Katie. And I would say things like, Katie, you are a gift from God to me. A gift from God. And Matt, God blessed me when he sent you to me. Absolutely blessed me, son. And I made sure that they heard it. John must have known the force, must have known the power that a mere name possesses. And he took full advantage of it when he wrote those words, see what kind of love the Father has given us, that we should be called children of God, and that is what we are. Is there a name any greater than this? Well, then name it. I don't believe there's any greater name than this, in my estimation, than to be called God's child. I know that people are looking high and low for their identity. Some people will go to the ends of the earth trying to find it, looking for it. People have this deep void at the center of their lives, and it is something that only God can fill. And due to a skewed understanding of one's identity, people fall into all kinds of trouble, pain, heartache. I am fully convinced that if you and I grew up having learned that we are God's own children, that we are a child of God, it would have saved a world of pain for us. Because knowing who we are and whose we are is very healing. And when we understand at the depth of our being, at the marrow of our bones, that we are thoroughly loved and accepted by God, it brings wellness. It brings confidence. In knowing that we are supremely loved even in our mistakes and failures, even when we are facing great challenges, knowing that we are enveloped by the unconditional love of God, it is a healing balm. It is fulfilling, energizing, it is hope infusing. True story. True. Dr. Fred Craddock, who was the former professor of theology at Emory University, was vacationing with his wife Nellie in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. After ordering breakfast at a local restaurant, the couple waited for their meal. They were just hoping to enjoy a few private moments together. Well, they noticed this distinguished-looking white-haired gentleman. He was moving between tables, visiting with guests, and Craddock leaned into his wife and said, we came here to get away from crowds. I hope he doesn't come over. The man stopped at their table. Where are you folks from? He asked. Georgia, they answered. What do you do for a living? Asked the white-haired man. I teach at a seminary, said Craddock. Oh, so you teach preachers how to preach? Well, I have got a story for you. And he pulled up a chair and he sat down. Craddock silently groaned. Just what I need, another preacher's story. Well, pointing out the window, the man continued, you see that mountain over there? At the base of that mountain, an unwed mother gave birth to a son. At age 6, due to hardship, the mother had to place that boy in an orphanage. He had a hard life those early years because, well, every place he went, people asked the same question, young man, who's your daddy? At school, the boy hid from fellow students during recess. He almost always sat alone while having lunch. And because the question caused so much pain, the boy avoided going into local shops. Well, the boy attended church, but he always saw to it to arrive late and to step out early. Well, when he was 12, a new minister came to town, and the benediction happened so fast that the boy got caught up in the aisle with others. And when he reached the exit, the new minister, not knowing the backstory, he put his hand on his shoulder and he asked, son, who is your daddy? When members of the congregation heard that question, they became deathly quiet, knowing that the young man was embarrassed. The minister, he quickly caught on, realized his mistake, and he recovered. Wait a minute, he said. Wait, I see the family resemblance. You are a child of God. You are God's child. And with that, he placed both hands on the shoulders of that boy and he said, young man, you have got a great inheritance. Go and claim it. Said this distinguished gentleman, that boy was never the same again. That whenever anybody asked him, who's your daddy, he would answer, I'm a child of God. Isn't that a great story, said the man. Well, the older man got up to walk away, but before he left, he remarked, if that new preacher hadn't told me that I was one of God's children, I probably never would have amounted to anything. The professor, deeply moved, he called the waitress over and asked, do you know who that man is? And the waitress smiled. Everybody knows that man. He lives just down the road. That's Ben Hooper, former governor of Tennessee. This story is no less true of you and me. That regardless of who you are or who you think you are and what you've been called and what you've been through, you are first and foremost a child of God, God's own child. So go and claim it today. Claim it. Would you pray with me? God, we've heard all the names. Some of them have stuck. We have felt the sting of failure, of disappointment. At times we've wondered, who am I really? Who am I? But Scripture does not lie. That God so loved each and every one of us that He sent His Son. And so, friends, may you and I claim our birthright. You are God's own child. God loved and God breathed. Don't ever forget this.